Dacha How, Washa Michael Larson, Washa Nima de Pungyu. Hello, everybody. This is Mike Larson for BBC IML, and this is a moment with Mike. So, I had a conversation with a close friend of mine from Central America, actually, Panama, yesterday, and she said something that kind of jogged my memory a little bit. Down in Panama, everything is still on lockdown, and I remember that in China, and when I first got back here, it was the same thing. But perception is a huge part of life. How we perceive things makes all the difference in the world. And it ties back into your why. And when your why is big enough, the how comes easy. And the reason I say that is because this Nylena from Panama, I had a conversation with her about her business yesterday, and she was telling me how she spent the weekend with some friends. She just didn't feel like she was at home anymore and felt like she was tied in. And it's amazing how a thing like this can change the perception of our world. And a place that she would normally love being, she would look forward to getting home to. She couldn't wait to get out of there, and she spent time with friends. And we all need... one of the fundamental elements, I talk about it frequently, is love and connection. We have to have love and connection. Fundamental elements are not wants, they're not desires, they're not needs. We have to meet them. And when we're not, we don't feel fulfilled. So she, being at home constantly, wasn't getting the connection she needed, and it makes her life feel empty. So she went to spend a weekend with her friends, and they just played games and had fun. But it brought back the perspective she needed in her life. It brought back the fulfillment she needed once again in her life. And it made a difference in that. And I had the same thing when I was in China. When I was in China, I liked the apartment I lived in. It was a beautiful apartment. It was comfortable. It was everything I needed. It was pretty small, but very comfortable, very nice. And I could take care of it easily. I worked constantly when I was there, so I didn't want to have this huge place to take care of. When I was free to go about and have fun, I enjoyed coming back to the apartment. It was a good place to stay. It was comfortable. I could sleep there, and I enjoyed being there in the little time I was there. And then everything changed, and they shut down the country, and I couldn't go to work anymore, and I had to be in that apartment constantly. And I didn't get the feeling I did anymore, and a part of you lost, and you have to have it. You have to search for it, and you'll do, when it gets to a point to meet those fundamentals, you'll do almost anything to achieve that, to get that feeling of connection, of love again. So I think about that with work also, with business. When we have a career, and when we first get into that career, we love it. We feel connected, and we call it the honeymoon period, where everything seems to go right. And we join a career, we join a job, we start a business to be a part of a group, to get that connection, importance, and all the other things. But connection is one of the major ones, and love and connection. And when we're there, we also have this thing called dreams and goals, and it's our why. And it changes the perception of everything in life. When we've got something that we're driving for, when we can find ways to meet our fundamental elements, to meet security, to meet diversity, to meet importance, to meet relational, to meet expansion, to meet sharing. When we get all that stuff, we get fulfillment, and initially everything's new, and we're learning new things, we feel important, we're meeting new people. And as long as we're allowed to feel a part of things, to give our share to whatever it is, we feel like we're on the way in, and our perception is as good. We feel good about getting up in the morning and getting to work. If we don't put our dreams and goals in the forefront, and we don't understand that this is the vehicle to make that happen, if we can't tie those together, if we're in a workplace and it's all about meeting the process And the process is the most important thing. And we can't see how that's going to drive us to our dreams and goals. And we can't see how we get our importance out of it. We can't see how we get our connection out of it. And then that newness, the honeymoon period, wears off. And our perception of that job changes. It's the same job, but we don't get that newness anymore. We don't see it. So when you're in that position as an employee, or when you're in that position as a leader, you have to find out what people's why is. You have to find out what it is that they need in life. What's their passion? And you have to allow them to find that passion within a process. And that's how people's perception of a position is still good. Another area is marriage. Our perception of marriage will change over the years. Now, if our perception changes together and we can still find the passion within it, it's not a big issue. In fact, it's a good thing. It's part of growth. But if the perception is that we're moving out instead of continuing to go in, everything can change about that relationship, and we start to find what's wrong with it instead of what we can improve on it. So this pandemic period, this COVID-19, no matter what's causing it, I don't really care. But it should be a good lesson for us on perception, on how we need to find what's good about a situation to give us that drive. When we don't get that connection with people, that's missing from us. We have to find a way to do it. And I'm rather impressed, going back to that initial story, that Nylena was smart enough about what was going on, that she knew she had to get out of there and she had to go spend some time with people to get that connection back again. And now when she goes back home, it's going to be easier for her to take the fact that she has to be there. So pay attention to this in your life. Pay attention to what drives you, to the passions that drive you. And it's a simple way of representing things to your passion. And you have to find that within you. You have to change the perception of what's going on to keep that positive perception. And yeah, if you can't have that perception in the situation, you got another way to get through there, and you can't change the representation, then you don't live an unhappy life. Find a better way. Find another way to keep your passion. Life is too short to live it when we're not happy, when we don't have the passion, when we're not feeling fulfilled. That's what life's about, is finding fulfillment. But at the same token, you got to be able to find fulfillment in every situation. It's just a choice. It's just like happiness is a choice and anger is a choice. Happiness is a skill that we need to practice. It's not something you search for. You can't go search out happiness. You can't. You can search out a tree, you can search out the grass, you can search out a road, you can search out a house. Those are all tangible. But intangibles you can't search out. They're things that you decide on. But make it an environment that makes it easier for you to make that decision also. Be cognizant of that. Fulfill your life. I said yesterday that the greatest tragedy in life is success without fulfillment. But you find fulfillment first. You don't find success first. You find fulfillment, and then you find success, and you already have fulfillment, so success is much better. People that think that they're going to get fulfillment when they get success haven't learned yet. They haven't created that skill of fulfillment yet. And that's true with anything in life. So I feel a few raindrops coming down here, so I don't really want to get soaked. So I hope this finds you well. Have a super fantastic evening. And if you like this message, look for more of them. I'm on every night at 7 o'clock. I also usually have a recording during the day about a story I put on Facebook. And I like to talk about some good feedback from that. Somebody that's really given me some good feedback on that. So watch for that also. If you have an idea of a story you'd like me to go over, or something that's challenging in your life you'd like me to talk about, I'd love to do that. That's fun. I really enjoy that. So go ahead and send me a message at mike@inspiredmotivatedleadership.com, or you can text me on Messenger. Put a message in here. If you like what's going on here, send me a like, send me a heart. That's how I can drive Facebook to drive more people, and I can help more people. That's what we're all here for, is to add value to people. So have a super fantastic evening. I see I got Nicholas Christensen on here. I thank you. Lois, I think, DePena, Chad, Wendy, I thank you for joining me. Once again, have a super fantastic evening, and we will see you tomorrow night.